Hey guys, it's Prajna. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a long time since I've posted a video. I know. I am so sorry. But in today's video, I wanted to show you guys a very powerful True Patriots build setup. True Patriots is a fun gear set, but it does come with some pros and cons. And I'll go over what those are later in the video. Also, I am still recovering from a bad flu, so if I sound a little different, then that's why. So what I'm going to do is give you guys a rundown of this True Patriots build, my personal opinion on True Patriots, why I no longer use it, the good, bad, ugly, and all that jazz. And for those of you who would like to see a fairly decent True Patriots setup for the Darkzone, then stick around till the end of the video for that. Because if you're like me and enjoy PvPing in the Darkzone, then I'm sure you're not going to want to miss that. Okay guys, so True Patriots is a very versatile and balanced gear set. It makes for great support builds and can be a wonderful gear set to use in groups, especially if you are running the Pestilence. And that is because both the Pestilence and True Patriots add a debuff to the enemy. So if you have the Pestilence, that would be a great weapon to use for support if you are in a group. Unfortunately for me though, I accidentally deleted my Pestilence, but no big deal because it's very easy to get. Now on the other hand, if you are solo, then this True Patriots setup that I'm about to break down and show you will work a lot better. This is a setup that has a great balance of damage and survivability. It will work great for almost any content in the game, including legendary missions. So now you do have a few options with this True Patriots setup, and I'll show you that in just a moment, but for the primary weapon, I'm using the St. Elmo's Engine Exotic Assault Rifle. So for those who don't know, the St. Elmo's weapon talent gives you shock ammo upon reaching 100 stacks. So shooting an enemy will give you 1 stack, and at 100 stacks, the next mag will be 100% filled with shock ammo. And since I have the talent Galvanize on my backpack, having that shock ammo from the St. Elmo will help activate this talent. This talent helps add a decent amount of survivability, so it really helps, especially in legendary missions. So by applying shock to an enemy, you will be granted 40% of your armor as bonus armor to allies within 20 meters of that enemy for 10 seconds. This is why I went all blue core armor, because you will get more bonus armor from Galvanize. Now, there is a named backpack called Lavoisier. Lavoisier, I probably totally butchered that word, but this backpack comes with Perfect Galvanize. I'm not sure how much of a difference the Perfect Galvanize talent is compared to the normal Galvanize talent since I don't have it, but if you do, then you're better off using that instead since it will be better. Now, one of the major pros of True Patriots is the bonus 30% ammo capacity and magazine size that you get for having 3 pieces equipped. This increased magazine size is really nice to have, and if you're using the St. Elmo, you will have 90 rounds per clip, which is wonderful, and it just makes the St. Elmo feel like a mini LMG. For the chest piece, I'm wearing 1-piece Fenris Group AB for the 10% assault rifle damage rolled with the Obliterate talent. This talent really helps add damage to this build. Critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 10 seconds, and this stacks up to 25 times, which is basically an increased 25% weapon damage at full stack. Another benefit of having True Patriots is, of course, its debuff on enemies. And just real quick, for those who don't know, having 4 pieces of True Patriots will unlock the talent Red, White, and Blue. So every 2 seconds, the enemies you shoot will receive a stacking debuff. The red debuff will amplify the enemy's damage taken by 8%, while the white debuff will repair any attacking agent's armor by 2% every second. So if you have another group member shoot an enemy with a white debuff, they will receive a 2% healing every second, which is pretty cool. The blue debuff, on the other hand, will decrease the enemy's damage dealt by 8%. Enemies that die while under the effect of all 3 debuffs create a 5-meter explosion that basically looks like fireworks lighting up the sky like the 4th of July. Now this explosion will deal damage to other enemies within 5 meters equal to their total health and armor. In PvP, this effect is really nice. And for the weapon specialization, I recommend going with Gunner for the armor on kill bonus. This will help you save armor kits and will slightly increase your survivability. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys the attributes that I'm running on the gear pieces, then I'll show you guys the stats as well as the other options that you have for setting up this build. So I basically have critical hit chance and damage attributes rolled on all of my pieces, and I highly recommend you do the same as well. This will just help increase your overall damage out, especially if your expertise level is very high. So for the stats, 54% critical hit chance and 149% critical hit damage on the St. Elmo. And for the secondary weapon, you can honestly use whatever you'd like. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys the other option you have for setting up this true Patriots build. So for legendary missions, this setup will work great. And having the Ballistic Crusader shield really adds to the survivability by providing an extra layer of protection, and the shock traps are not only great for crowd controlling the NPCs, but also for activating Galvanize. And by having all blue core major armor attributes rolled on all my gear pieces, I will be getting even more bonus armor, which also applies to any allies you have in your group. Now you also have the option of running the tamper-proof vest talent. This talent is also good because if you have a hive or turret out, any enemy that walks within 3 meters of it will get shocked, activating Galvanize, which will give you that bonus armor. This would be better for any other content besides legendary missions in my opinion though. I find that the ballistic shield is a lot better for legendary missions because of how brutal the NPCs are. So having that extra layer of protection really helps. But tamper-proof does work really well with the Galvanize talent. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys a true Patriots build setup for the Darkzone that performs really well in PvP. So this build is great if you enjoy using SMGs and works well for solo players as well. For this setup, I'm using the Ridgeway's Pride Vest, which you can get from the summit very easily if you don't already have it. And this vest basically applies a bleed status effect to the enemy, which will also repair 3 to 48% of your armor per second for every enemy that is bleeding within 15 meters. This effect gets increased when you factor in the 2% healing you get from the true Patriots white debuff. So this helps a bit with survivability, and by having the true Patriots backpack, all 3 red, white, and blue debuffs get a small increase. So as you can see, instead of 2% healing, the backpack bumps that up to 3%. So this build has a decent amount of survivability as well as great damage. For the gloves, I'm using the Sokolov gloves for the 10% SMG damage, and for the primary weapon, the Ouroboros or Lady Death are great options. But you can also grab a Vector and roll the talent Sadist on it for more damage. Sadist will amplify your weapon damage by 20% to bleeding enemies. For the skills, the Bleed Hive and Decoy work great for me, but feel free to use whichever skills you like to better suit your playstyle. And for the stats, 59% critical hit chance and 151% critical hit damage on the Ouroboros, with 57% critical hit chance and 141% critical hit damage on the Vector. Now for the gear pieces, I recommend going with either critical hit chance or damage. Okay, so now this next true Patriots build setup is designed for players that would prefer using ARs like me. I actually find this build a lot better for me since it suits my playstyle. Because I like to play mid to long range and assault rifles are my specialty, so you will basically just have to swap out the Ridgeway's Pride Vest and Sokolov gloves. This is a very fun build to use, and it can really be effective when running in groups or even solo. So for the gloves, I'm wearing the named contractor's gloves, and for the chest piece, Fenris Group AB with the Unbreakable talent. The survivability is a lot higher since this is an all-blue core armor attribute build, but feel free to roll more weapon damage if you'd like. For the stats on the St. Elmo, 54% critical hit chance and 137 critical hit damage. One downside of True Patriots is its low damage compared to the other gear sets. This is the main reason why I stopped using True Patriots, but overall it's a well-balanced gear set and it's extremely fun to use. So yeah, there you have it. This is Prajna. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found this video helpful. Don't forget to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel if you are new. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section and I'll get back to you. Keep it cool, keep it classy, and see you in the next video. Peace out.